Going on, guys? I'm back at you again. Holla at your boy. Woo! Back at you again. We back at it. We were 1 for 1. We got the Pacers game right by the skin of our teeth. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was scared the whole entire game. Right until the last second until Halliburton put up that shot and it went through the hoop. I thought that I was going to be 0 for 2 because I didn't feel good about picking the Timberwolves, but I just felt like they had the momentum going into the series. Golden State, I thought they'd be tired after that last game, but they just flipped the script on us. And I told you, game ones are impossible to call unless you got the insider information, unless you're in that locker room, unless you know how everything's going to go. You have no idea what the hell is going to happen. So I did the best I could. I'll admit, I did go a little bit with my heart, mostly with my heart, not too much with my head, as we can see. Last night picking the Pacers, I went with my heart, and that turned out right. I went with my heart with the Timberwolves, and that turned out wrong. But at the same time, I wasn't picking them. I didn't think the Warriors were ever going to win this game, and they have them win handily. Out of all the games, the least suspecting team, they make them blow them out. And that should show you that they're just toying with us. Now, everybody's going to pick the Warriors next game, but the T-Wolves are going to win next time. But we'll talk about that when that happens. As far as this game goes, the Pacers, they were really cold early. They were turning the ball over. They were out of sync. And then finally, the second half, they just went on a few big runs and were able to flip the script. They were finally hitting shots that they weren't hitting in the first half. And look at this. Every box score basically looks the same. It's the same 6-7 guys scoring, getting double digits, and contributing. That's why this team is always going to be a problem, because they have players that can play at every position and they keep fighting. And like I said last time, they learned from last year's battle against the Celtics. They are going to be much better this time around. They're going to be more equipped. And they had all that criticism. They had to hear all that shit for all those months. So they're going to be ready to go. As far as the the Cavaliers go, I was going to call them the Celtics. But as far as the Cavs go, Max Strus went off. This brother dropped 23 points. That brother will never drop 23 again. Jared Allen gives you 22. Donovan Mitchell almost gives you 50 with 9 assists. He's the player of the game, even though they almost lost. But that's all it was. He was there to make a show, make everything look copacetic, but at the end of the day, they were always going to lose this game. Donovan Mitchell was just there to put on a show. His sidekick still wasn't there. I don't think the Cavs can win without Garland. If Garland is back game 3, I'll pick the Cavs to win. But unless Garland is there, it's very hard to pick against the Pacers. And the Pacers played the worst game up to date, and they still won. So what does that tell you guys? They're up in the series 2-0, guys. And right now the Cavs are in a hole that I don't know that they can dig themselves out of, because now they're going back to Indianapolis. They have to steal one of these games. Otherwise, they're going to get swept. Other than that, let's talk about the next game. We got the Warriors, Timberwolves. I'm not going to lie, I was only able to see the first half of this because I had work early. But from what I saw in the first half, it looked like it was going to be a good game. But really, Anthony Edwards had a quiet night. And I'm going to say this right now. If Anthony Edwards don't drop 35, 40 points every game, it's the same thing like the Lakers effect here. If Anthony Edwards don't drop 35, 40 points, they don't have a chance. If McDaniels don't drop at least 20, Randall's drop at least 20, with Edwards dropping his 35 to 40, this team has no chance, brothers. Mike Conley gave you 0 points. That ain't gonna fly. Nasri did his thing. DiVincenzo, we need more out of you. This team needs to give a little bit more. I think DiVincenzo is going to give you more, Conley. But at the same time, they played a solid game. Guys, they played a solid game, the Timberwolves, and they still just got beat. And the crazy part is Steph Curry didn't even have a good game. That brother only had 13 points. So you telling me if Steph Curry is having a 30-point game or, a high 20s point game, how are you going to beat them? This brother is cold and off, and he's been off for the last few games. I think it has something to do with that injury he incurred. So that's probably what it is. But Buddy Hield has been playing out of his mind the last 7 games, other than one of those games where he dropped 0. But he has been showing up. He's been playing like the way Klay Thompson was supposed to play for them. He has showed up to be their Klay Thompson. Jimmy Butler, he's just Jimmy. Jimmy's just out there playing defense and playing rugged offense. He even got 8 assists, playmaking with his rebounds. Jimmy Butler is going to be a problem. Draymond Green was even a big problem. You got playmaking bigs. Because don't forget, Jimmy Butler's playing the 4, and they got Draymond at the 5. And these brothers are getting 6, 8 assists. That means they're running offense, getting guys the ball, mainly Steph trying to, and Buddy Hield on open shots. Guys on the transition, wide open layups. And you can tell that stuff is working for them. So as long as they can keep playmaking and getting guys open while still getting theirs, it's going to be hard for Minnesota. But I'm not going to call this game out yet. We're going to call that tomorrow. As far as tonight, we got the Knicks versus the Celtics. Guys, let me tell you something. The Celtics in the third quarter, let me tell you this. They shot 23 pointers in the third quarter, guys. And they made 0 of them. And they wonder why the Knicks were able to come back. When you're up over 10 points, you don't start launching threes. And as a coach, you need to call a timeout and draw up a play to get to the basket or get fouled. You can't just keep telling your players to shoot threes every time. I don't give a damn what the analytics say. That's how you know this is some BS. The Celtics weren't trying to win that game. They had the odds and the bookies telling them to lose because everybody was picking the Celtics, and I told you they would do this. I'm sick and tired of this, picking with my heart and getting burned because the NBA and the NFL don't want to be organic. It pisses me off. But at the same time, I still got to make my pick. And I got to go with the Celtics and hope that they don't shoot 23s in a row and miss all of them. One can only hope. And as for Denver and the Thunder, I don't know, guys, because when I was watching that last game, Nikola Jokic was doing whatever he wanted. Chet Holmgren is too skinny. He's not strong enough to contain Jokic. Jokic was getting to every spot he wanted, shooting right over him, backing him down, doing anything he wanted. I thought Chet Holmgren would be able to handle him. I was wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Chet Holmgren, this is a mismatch. Chet Holmgren cannot shine Jokic's shoes. He's getting exposed and dominated out there. Now they got a chance to turn things around. They only lost by 2. And I don't get this. They were up 3 points and they fouled immediately. I don't get that. So that tells me right there they weren't trying to win that game. Nobody thought Denver was going to win, but they came out. Jokic did his thing. 42 points. That means nobody was even giving him any problems. And I told you, Zubac in the last round was Jokic's issue. Right now in this round, Jokic ain't got nobody to worry about. Even though the Thunder, they got Hartenstein. Hartenstein needs to do a better job on Jokic, and so does Chet Holmgren. These brothers are 7-1 for crying out loud. Chet Holmgren's like 7-2. So these brothers need to do a better job in contesting and getting Jokic to take tougher shots, making it harder on Jokic, because you ain't going to stop him, but you got to make it harder on the brother. He was holding a clinic on this brother, Chet Holmgren. That is something you show big men on film to get ready to be in the NBA. So other than that, Caruso dropped 20, but nothing was enough. Guys like Jalen need to drop 25. Chet needs to drop 20. Hartenstein, fine. Shai did his thing. Dort need 20 out of you. Caruso, he did his thing. So the point I'm trying to make is everybody can step up and play a little bit better. And I think we'll get a better performance now that they have a feeling of what Denver is going to bring. And Denver, look at this, the fourth quarter, they scored 35 and 36 points. That's the ball game. You got to hold and contain them in the second half. It's not about how you start with the Thunder, because the Thunder always starts off fast. It's about how you finish. Hopefully they get the memo, and hopefully they come back out stronger. I'm going with the Thunder again, so we got the Celtics and the Thunder. And that's what we're going with, boys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.